What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So tonight we saw the Atlanta Hawks go to Cleveland, and for Cleveland, this was a do or die situation. They had to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive for the eighth spot to face the first seeded Miami Heat. And of course, Cleveland got some great news when it was announced that Jared Allen would indeed play in this game. Jared Allen had been out since March 6th after suffering, I think it was a fractured finger. But his presence was felt earlier on, and Cleveland came up with a lot of energy, and they quickly built a double-digit lead. But the Atlanta Hawks, who started off hot from downtown, cooled off. But Cleveland also went through some lulls offensively themselves, and Atlanta Hawks were able to get back into it for a while. But then the Cavaliers finished the second quarter and the first half off on a little run. They're up by 10 at halftime, but it was a tenuous lead. And if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you would have rather have been up by 20 than just 10 at halftime. And then it kind of happened. It was slow process, but Atlanta began to make some big stops during the second half. Cleveland's defense was not quite as smothering. There was some breakdowns defensively for Cleveland. I mean, it was a couple of drives, unimpeded drives by Trae Young, a couple of unimpeded drives by Danilo Gallinari and some others, uncharacteristic of Cleveland. Um, and Trae Young, who had been held in check, I think he only had 6 points in the first half, wound up scoring 32 in the second half of this game, 32 points. And he was the big factor in this game, along with the fact that the Atlanta Hawks ramped up their defense, stopping Cleveland in very, um, big possessions down the stretch of the game. Uh, they stymied Cleveland offensively in the second half. Um, look at some of these numbers. Overall, Atlanta shot 49% from the floor to Cleveland's 46%, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but at one point, I believe Cleveland was shooting the ball pretty good at a pretty good clip of over 50% in the first half. Cleveland shot 13 of 36 from beyond the arc. Atlanta 9 of 31. However, the nine threes that Atlanta made were timely threes. That make any fucking sense. They did not shoot well from outside for the entirety of the game, but when they did make some threes, it was during some pivotal runs, especially in the third quarter, and especially some of those threes that were made by Trae Young in the second half. A lot of those threes were probably made by Trae Young and or maybe Gallinari because everybody else was just completely off. Um, let's see, trying to look at some of these stats. Atlanta had the edge as far as total rebounds and offensive rebounds. Um, Points in the paint. The Hawks had the advantage there, and the Hawks also had an advantage as far as free throws. And one thing that Cleveland didn't want to happen is let a great one-on-one scorer like Trae Young get off. Not saying that Cleveland doesn't have guys that can score the basketball, but Trae Young is, one of the great scorers in the league, and he didn't average 28, I believe, 28 points per game during the regular season for nothing. This is a guy that can get it going big time, and you can't have Trae Young going off on you for 30 points and a half and think you're going to win the game. And ultimately, they didn't. Okay, Atlanta prevailed 107 for 101. Danilo Gallinari had 14 points. Clint Capella and only 13 minutes of play. Only 13 minutes of play. Still had 7 points and 8 rebounds. Uh, Bogdanovich had 19. Trae Young had 38 to go along with 9 assists. For the Cavaliers, Garland had 21, but he did not shoot the basketball very well. I think he was only 9 of 26 or 9 of 27 from the floor. Karis LeVert had 16. Jared Allen was not as effective as normal. 11 points, but only 3 rebounds. Um, Mobley had 18 points and 8 rebounds. Laurie Marketing had 26 points and 8 rebounds, but it was not enough for Cleveland. Look, I'm kind of torn on Cleveland, y'all, because a part of me is like, I like the team, I like the players, but I gotta be honest, fuck the fans. I mean, these are the same fans that was saying racist shit about LeBron when he left the first time, and these are some of the same fans that were heckling Kyrie. Yeah, you only won one title. I mean, fuck you guys then. You don't deserve to win anything. That's your fucking attitude about it. But I like the players there. So I'm a little bit torn when it comes to Cleveland. So, but Cleveland, as long as they stay the fuck away from LeBron, which apparently it's looking like LeBron might maneuver his ass back over there again, man. But anyway, the Hawks, more playoff experience. It showed they were able to win this game. And now they have a date with Miami. Um, I guess you would think Miami would be favored in this series, but we've seen what Atlanta can do. So I would say Atlanta, I would say Miami in 6, but you never know. Tell me what you guys think.